Hey, welcome back to Throw the Flag Football. Wanted to get another video up here. This is going to be a video about 3 undervalued Dynasty fantasy football players, or just fantasy in general. My focus is mainly on Dynasty and Keeper Leagues because that's what I play in. So I'm going to give you 3 players that I think that are a little bit undervalued, that you might be able to get pretty cheaply in a trade, or you'll be able to use late round draft picks to get. So 3 players that I think have a lot of potential in 2021. Before we get to that, I did want to talk a little bit about, I went on vacation, went to Charlotte, had a great time down in Charlotte, scouted the area a little bit. We're thinking about maybe particularly moving in the next year or so. So just to kind of let you know, I did that. And then I came home and promptly just broke my fibula and tore 2 ligaments in my leg. This 4th of July holiday. So had a kind of a bad 4th of July, had some fireworks, had a lot of fun at where I was until the point of having a fall and doing this damage to my leg. So I'm kind of on the IR right now, can't work, can't do anything, kind of sitting completely still. If the camera is shaking a little bit, I'm sorry, I apologize. Also, if it's bad lighting, sorry, I'm kind of laid up. I have to keep my leg up. But while I'm sitting here doing absolutely nothing, figured I could get a video up for you guys to enjoy. Just want to kind of give you a real quick glimpse of my situation right here. So, as you can see, it's a situation where I'm going to be in one spot for a while. So there may be more videos. If you want me to do a video, or you want a player evaluated, or you want anything that you might want, or an idea that you have, let me know. I'll be happy to try to attempt to do something for you. Or after the surgery, which my surgery is Wednesday, I don't know how the recovery is going to go, so there may be less videos. But at any rate, let's just get into the players, because I know that's what you're here for. So the first player I want to discuss is from the Washington football team, and it's going to be Ryan Fitzpatrick. So he, quarterback, obviously, been around for 16 years, 38 years old, just signed a $10 million contract, same amount as Andy Dalton had received from the Bears. So it's pretty good money. He's, in my opinion, probably definitely the starter. I know there's just been talk about Taylor Heinicke with his playoff game that he had, that he could push Fitzmagic for the starting spot. I think that's really just kind of coach speak at this point in time. I think the Washington football team has a plan, and it involves the Magic Man. So let's go ahead and get into what he is. He is a gambler. He is a down the field thrower. He's got that gambler mentality, kind of like a Brett Favre. He's looking for windows that he can throw in, but if they're not there, he's going to gamble on his arm strength. He's going to try to put it in a small window. So there can be some turnover capabilities with him as well. So you could have some turnovers. But I think there's more upside with Ryan Fitzpatrick in this offense than there is a downside, especially with the weapons that he has. You're looking at, Terry McLaurin. We all know what Scary Terry is, the number 1 there. You got the Logan Thomas is good in the seams. Antonio Gibson is going to probably increase his pass catching ability and is a wonderful back. You're looking at J.D. McKissick, who, he had 80 receptions last year for the Washington football team. So this team is kind of loaded. Who else? Adam Humphries. I actually signed Adam Humphries as a good possession receiver. And Dyami Brown, he's going to be a field stretcher. I think he's going to open things up. You got Scary Terry on one side, Brown on the other. This team is loaded with offensive weapons, and I could see them winning the NFL, not the NFL, but the NFC East. And you could see them, particularly having a pretty good year fantasy-wise. There's a lot of points to be had here. So really, all these guys are valuable, but it's going to be to Fitzmagic to get it done, I think. And he can still run too. He's capable of running even at 38 years old. There's also potential that if they do win the NFC East, or if they continue to win, they're going to have a low first round or late first round draft picks. So you're looking at, he could have potential to be there for another year. You got threats as being, Taylor Heinicke and Kyle Allen. Kyle Allen being an offense with Carolina and Scott Turner's offense, and everything that he has the experience of being with that offense for that long, that makes him a little bit of a threat. I just don't think he has the talent, or he can't stay healthy, either one, to be the guy of the future there. But Taylor Heinicke could. He had that big playoff game, looked really good, mobile out of the pocket. But I don't think he's a threat for this year. I think if they do see him, they do see him as the quarterback of the future, which I'm not sure if they do or not. Ron is a guy that is going to pretty much stick with his guy once the guy wins the job. So, and I do think this is Fitz's job to lose. So just keep that in mind. Pretty much, I think that's it for Fitz. But I do think that if you're looking to get a quarterback for 1 year, he's definitely the man. 2 years at the max. After that, you're going to be maybe in a little bit of trouble there. But moving on to our second player, which will be Gus Edwards, Ravens running back, age 26, 6 foot, 238 pounds, just signed a 3-year, $12.3 million contract, $8 million of it guaranteed. They did give him a second round tender during free agency, which means they have a plan for him. They didn't want anybody else to come in and grab him. That's a high pick to give up for a running back, so they pretty much knew nobody was going to do that. Solid burst, explosion. He's not going to blaze down the field after getting past the second level. He's not going to outrun DBs. But what he does have is good explosion and good initial explosion to get through to the second level. He can get to the third level pretty quickly, and then he's going to run out of gas. But, there's a lot of points there at the first and second level. Red zone threat. He's going to be a red zone threat. He can pound it, and he's strong. Edwards is going to be part of the offense. He is thinking and talking about wanting to catch more passes, which would increase his value for PPR leagues. Threats are Lamar Jackson and J.K. Dobbins. Let me first say this: J.K. Dobbins is the guy that is the future at the running back position for them. I think. I also think that they don't want to. I don't think they want to run him to death. For some reason, they're saving him a little bit. I feel like Edwards is going to have a big role, and if you're a Dobbins owner, it wouldn't hurt to get Edwards. If something happens to Dobbins, Edwards is going to be a stud, and he's right away going to be a number one. And that's what makes Edwards kind of an important guy to have on your squad, even if you don't have Dobbins. So that's it for him. He's a really good running back. I think the one downside is Lamar Jackson. Anytime Lamar's in that red zone, he's got the ability to rush the ball in instead of handing it off to a running back. But he also opens things up for the running back, so it's kind of give and take. But I think you would be happy to have Edwards on your squad moving forward this season at least, and see how it goes. And again, they did sign him to a 3-year deal, but I'm sure there's some kind of an out there after year 2, maybe even after year 1. So just be paying attention to that. Last guy is fairly interesting to me, a guy I kind of like. Dan Arnold, tight end, Carolina Panthers. Just signed a contract with them for $6 million, $4.5 million of it guaranteed, 2-year deal. 6'5", 6'6", good size. Got a good vertical leap. He can go up and get the ball now. He can jump up and get it. Good in the red zone. Good hands, sneaky athletic. He's very sneaky athletic and sneaky fast. 4.6 40. And if you watch some of his tape, his highlights, if he's in open field, he can outrun DBs. He is fast. The one downside I don't like for him is his blocking is just horrid. So he cannot block. He's not going to be there to block, and he can be a hindrance in blocking. So, you got a problem there with potential of him being off the field at certain times because he can't block. They did go ahead and draft Tommy Tremble, who is a massive blocker. He's explosive. Out of Notre Dame, he will destroy people. And so he can really block. And I think that's part of the reason why they went and got him. If they can teach him to catch, not that he can't catch, he just didn't show it at Notre Dame. Notre Dame just didn't throw him the ball. But his goal, he's not his goal, but his deal there at Notre Dame was to destroy people in blocking. If you want to watch some fun film on Tommy Tremble, just watch them wipe people out. It's fun. But if they could teach Tommy Tremble to catch, then, you know, he's going to be one heck of a tight end. He is probably the main threat in my opinion. Ian Thomas is there as well, but, you know, he hasn't done anything since he's been there. You know, he's supposed to have had a good off season, but, you know, I don't know. If you haven't shown it by now to me for Ian Thomas, I don't think he's going to show it. And I think it's really going to be the Dan Arnold show, especially early, with maybe them trying to develop Tommy Tremble. But if you need a guy at tight end and it's going to be cheap to get Dan Arnold, and he'll do good for you, in my opinion. Also, it's interesting that he's getting married in July, and him and his fiance Morgan have a web address you can check out. And sometimes these things are fun to check out on players that you're interested in, just to get to see what kind of people they are, kind of see where their mind is at. Sometimes that how they speak and if they're well spoken. And it's interesting to do that. I always look at interviews of players too, because it kind of gives you an insight of how they may be able to pick up the playbook, because this is a new team for him. So it's interesting, and I haven't seen too many of these, you know, getting married web addresses that go on for a year, but it's interesting. So go check it out. So again, these are 3 players that I think that in fantasy could potentially be pretty good players for you. Definitely going to be cheaper to get. You can trade for these players really cheaply. You can draft these players really cheaply. I guess you got a bonus player with Tommy Tremble. You can get him off of waivers. I ended up drafting Tommy Tremble in one of my dynasty leagues with my last pick of my rookie draft. And then I went and acquired Dan Arnold to secure that spot. I have Kittle in that league, and I have Tanyan in that league as well. But, you know, I wanted to have 3 tight ends that I felt comfortable with. Tremble's on my taxi squad. So those are the kind of things you can do, and you can do them really cheaply. So I think I picked up Arnold for like $1. You know, he's basically free. You had to bid at least $1. So I got him for $1. And then I had Tremble already on my taxi squad, so it guaranteed me the position. These are the kind of things that can win you games later in the year, which is important. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Again, I might be doing some more videos because, well, what else am I going to do? I'm kind of laid up. So I apologize again for the jittery camera, if there is. This is probably the way it's going to be for a while. So take care, be safe, and have a good day.